Hey guys, I am the Comics Kid 2099, and I'm here to do another
Missed Opportunities
video. This is a series of videos that I do where I talk about things that happened in movies, TV shows, books, or comic books, and I say that particular thing didn't really work out as well as they wish it had. So, for today, I will be talking about Smallville. Last week, I did an example of Smallville. You can go and see that if you want right now, or you can wait, because this doesn't really have anything to do with that example. Today, I will be talking about the TV show Smallville once again. And today, I will be saying that the missed opportunity for Smallville, in my humble opinion, I really felt like the first season was just really useless. And this isn't something particular in the show where they missed an opportunity to do something cool. This is more, they did something and I just wish they hadn't done that. With Smallville, pretty much the entire first season was standalone episodes. There really was no overarching conflict. There was something of a conflict with Lex Luthor and Jonathan Kent. Jonathan Kent did not like Lex. Pretty much the whole season he hated Lex. And then, spoiler, at the beginning of season 2, Jonathan begins to like Lex. And then that quickly goes away and Jonathan goes back to hating Lex for no real reason at all. But I guess you could say the overarching conflict was that Clark has befriended this guy that Jonathan Kent irrationally hates. And he does have a reason, but it really doesn't have anything to do with Lex. But beyond that, there isn't so much a season conflict, if you will. Later seasons had a particular bad guy who was the villain of that season. So, like, Brainiac was the bad guy of season 5. Now, granted, he was only in, I think, 4 episodes of season 5, so it's not like he was very present in the season, but he was the big bad of that season. And then Doomsday was season 8, General Zod was season 9, etc. Now, none of these necessarily worked very well because, like I said, Brainiac wasn't very present in season 5. Doomsday was not present at all in season 8. But I do feel like the show really should have had an overarching villain from the beginning. I feel like they needed something like that for each season. And in my opinion, they could have basically started the show with season 2. There would be a couple of things from season 1 you would have had to have moved up to season 2, but the general overall conflict with season 2 was that Lionel Luthor has now moved into Smallville officially, and he is kind of trying to edge Lex out of his own company, sort of. He's got this weird relationship where he wants Lex to take over the company for him, but at the same time, he doesn't want Lex to be doing anything on his own. Lex does not have any interest in inheriting the throne from Lionel, and Lex wants to forge his own destiny. Lionel does not want him to do that. So there's this really weird game of mental warfare, if you will, between the two Luthors, and there was one plotline in season 1 where Lex was actually playing mental games with one of Lionel's former business rivals, and I thought that was a really good plotline. So basically, what I'm saying here is season 1 just needed to be eliminated. Virtually nothing important happens in that season. We get to see character building where slowly Lana comes to like Clark, slowly Chloe comes to like Clark. I really feel like all of that could have been done in season 2, and in fact was done in season 2 a little bit. But I think they should have just basically taken the best things from season 1, moved them up to season 2, and just started there. You could take, like I said, 1 or 2 episodes from season 1 and move them into season 2, but for the most part, season 1 was just kind of pointless. I've said this before about other shows where it feels like the entire season is just there to introduce all of the characters, and then that's all it does. There really isn't a whole lot of conflict, and there was some character conflict. Jonathan Kent doesn't like Lex Luthor. I mentioned that one. Clark Kent is having trouble adjusting to his role as not quite a human being, but he still has to live among the human beings. And they could have still run with some of these conflicts in season 2, which in my ideal world would have been the first season. But basically, I feel like the big bad should have been Lionel Luthor. We should have had him as a very present threat in Smallville from the beginning. He was in season 1 a little bit, but he was a recurring character, and he was finally made a major character in season 2. I feel like they should have started with Lionel Luthor in Smallville. The Kents don't like him. Most of the people don't like him. Lex doesn't like him, but he also has to deal with the people not liking him because he's related to Lionel. And then Lionel is trying to mold Lex into Lionel Jr. Lex is trying to fight that, but then in doing so, he ends up becoming Lionel Jr. anyway. This all would have been really great if they had just started there. Instead, they felt like they had to wait an entire year where not a whole lot really happened. It was mostly just, okay, in this episode, Clark has to fight a heat vampire. In this episode, Clark has to fight a fat vampire. In this episode, Clark has to fight somebody with heat vision. And it just kind of, after a while, it got really old. I don't mind the occasional standalone episode, but for the most part, I feel like this show was better-ish when it had an overall season-long story. Now, that's not saying much because I don't ever feel like this series was excellent. I feel like it always had problems, but it was at its best, in my opinion, when there was kind of a season-long story. So that's about all I have to say in this video, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys tomorrow with some other kind of video. I don't really know what yet, but I will get that figured out by tomorrow. So until then, I will see you guys later. Have a good rest of the day.